Stranger Things took the world by storm with the horror concept combined with kids on bikes, but most of all, that rocking 80s music. Here's what we know. We present Stranger Things Season 4 is really messed up, says Finn Wolfhard, plus other Stranger Things Season 4 news. We must warn you, if you don't want any extra news and prefer to follow the storyline, then look away now. For those who have the desire to find out the truth, listen on. Hopper is alive. First of all, the badass cop David Harbour's Hopper is alive. If we remember at the end of Season 3, Billy was tragically eviscerated from the huge hulking beast known as the Mind Flayer. Billy was held on all of his appendages until the Cronenberg-esque beast took a plunge for his chest. He valiantly saved Eleven from being attacked by the Mind Flayer, who would obviously have shared her fate with Billy if the roles were reversed. Fan conspiracies say that Susie is to blame for this because she took too damn long to reach the gate to the Upside Down. But whatever, we're past it. During the Battle of Star Court, Hopper and Joyce are fighting to close the gate to the Upside Down, but shutting off the huge drilling equipment that makes the portal possible. But they are waylaid by access codes required to access the safe containing the keys to the big, huge drill. Someone with obsessive-compulsive behaviors was obviously in charge of the security, because that is nice and locked up. Inevitably, Joyce activates the drill, whilst Hopper is fighting Grigori. The closing of the gate has a rippling effect that disintegrates the people standing in the chamber, 4 people by our count. And the face Hopper makes as he looks at Joy means he's ready to die, and he's made peace with his role in all of this. How is Hopper back? And who's back with him? Many personal tears were shed over Hopper, and if you're like me, you might understandably believe he was one of the 4 that got disintegrated into dust. Not the case, maybe. Season 4 opens up to Hopper being participating in some prison labor that is occurring in Russia. We know where this is going. The kind of setup was abandoned in most places in the present day in our world because of the large amount of escapees. So, how did we get here? If you stayed around until the end of Season 3's credits, it was shown that the experiments with the Upside Down are still occurring, with prisoner sacrifices in the name of science. But one of the prisoners is rejected for science, the American. Fans speculate that this is referring to Hopper. Critics are saying that Netflix is diminishing the return of this beloved character, but Finn Wolfhard says that Season 4 is, and I quote, really messed up. So, we say show us Hopper lived. Yes, it gives us something happy to grasp onto, but I'm expecting you to dive deep into what experiments give fruit and what happens at this Russian facility. We've already been teased in the trailer by some kids playing games. There's a lot of potential ground here to be explored, especially with the promise of learning something dark about Hopper and with the return of Dr. Brenner. Flashbacks galore. Season 4 may be a season to really cement the characters in the world that has been built. The return of Dr. Brenner means we're going to learn so much about the character's past, making other seasons more rewatchable by every episode. Suddenly, we know the reasoning behind the behaviors shown, but back to Brenner. We're shown 2 children dressed in medical outfits, crawling in what appears to be a rainbow room, which, if we go back to Season 2, Terry, Eleven's mother, referenced this room, denoting it to be a staged room where scientists could observe the behavior of gifted children. Something about physically enhanced children playing games makes my mind go into spirals about what is actually being tested in these experiments. And what is the significance? What's most striking is that in Season 2, the rainbow room had no blood splatters and seemed to be generally less furnished, leading fans to speculate that we might expand upon the measures taken to prevent certain people, Terry, from breaking in again. Or is it bigger and more secure to lock a greater threat within and protect the scientists? Because, as we know, something is coming, and it's almost here. Interlude. Finn has reported on saying that they were filming for 300 days straight to ensure that the release was in 2022, from 2019, which to say the CGI and editing that goes into the cinematic masterpiece that is Stranger Things is staggeringly fast. Remembering it took 275 people 3 whole years to create Shrek. The Demigorgon is incredibly more complex than Shrek and his donkey. Scariest season yet. The Creel House is a new area to the Stranger Things series, and the show's creators have said that the Creel House is super important, although we're yet to know where it actually is. The latest trailer opens up with Steve, Max, Dustin, Lucas, and Will breaking into a Creel House on an orienting venture, antique diving, grocery list. The exact purpose of the break-in isn't known, but it absolutely stinks of an old dirty house that has had some really messed up things happen in it. Stranger Things is introducing Creel, a patient imprisoned at the Penhurst Mental Hospital, and if Stranger Things does something right, it's the concept of insanity. Just remember how you wanted everyone to believe Joyce wasn't crazy, and the extent she went to talk to her boy, but concerning Victor Creel, we know he was imprisoned in a mental hospital for gruesome murders. Every image of this guy sends chills down well-morally adjusted people. Let's get to know everyone's favorite family, the Creels. Living that perfect life, Virginia Creel moved into a new house in Hawkins to finally paint those white fences she heard so much about. Time to be the model 1950s, 60s housewife and cook up a storm of dinner. The lights are flickering. I'll ask Victor to change those soon. This dinner is gonna be so delicious. Cut to some time later, and Virginia will only have one thing on her mind. How did my children end up at the foot of my husband, gruesomely torn apart, which leaves fans asking, why? Why did we not learn the name of your son, and is he important? Stranger Things has a knack for inquisitive fans who find meaning in almost every corner. The date was on March 26, 1959. Is there relevance to this? We must consult the clock, stuck in time. There's an ominous clock in the latest trailer, hung up by vines and coinciding with a flaying tick-tock tick-tock. We're not in Hawkins anymore, the clock says to us. Instantly, there are many speculations as to the pertinence of the clock. We know that demigorgons create dimensional rifts in the space-time continuum, and we know that the fourth dimension is all based on time. And oh, it's time to learn string theory. In actuality, time is often used to prevent an event from happening or to give certain characters plot armor. Given that Hopper is still alive means we can only assume, if we assume he got disintegrated, that time is playing an important factor here in his rebirth. Some fans have speculated that by closing the portal gate, Hopper got dragged into the very concept of time itself and is trapped in some sort of clock mechanism. Other fans speculate that the clock is simply a way to add suspense. Something is coming, and something will happen, and it's only a matter of time until it does, leading our characters to be irrevocably changed by the ravages of time. All conspiracies are welcome in the comments. Let's get a debate raging. Where are Mike and Eleven? One particularly outstanding point about the Season 4 trailers is that Mike and Eleven are nowhere to be found, even in the break-in of the Creel house. And we all know how much they love break-ins, but we really don't know. Finn Wolfhard, Mike, appeared on the Jimmy Fallon show and did not give a single clue away, despite much pushing and prodding from the talk show host. Maybe Finn could teach Tom Holland a thing or two. We know that Eleven had her powers taken away, and with the return of Dr. Bremer and the culmination of things getting really messed up, we really might go into some deep and traumatic events in Eleven's life that may cause her to resurge that feeling within and awaken a whole host of new powers. Or with the breath of new life into Hawkins, perhaps we'll find some more powerful people, and Eleven may be dependent on them, or a synergy may be formed. One thing is guaranteed though, Hopper is in a dangerous environment, and those experiments are only going to end up in disaster. We are excited to see what vile and nightmare-inducing fiends will be found in and out of the Upside Down, and what rocking tunes will accompany them. That's all of our projected conspiracy theories arising from Finn Wolfhard, saying things get really messed up, and we're thankful to the Stranger Things cast who have been working tirelessly through the pandemic to ensure a top-quality cinematic experience. What do you think Season 4 has in store? Let's hear your wildest conspiracy theories in the comments.